Welcome back, my Jedi friends, and today we're going to cover the ultimate guide to toxic relationships. And it's probably not going to be the one that you expect. Probably not the one that you expect, folks. So in the video, we're going to cover what is a toxic relationship, and we're also going to uncover the absolute key to sorting all of it out. To sorting it all out, folks, sorting it all out. But like most things that I cover, these things are easier said than done. But I will give you the template to what I believe is the ultimate guide to sorting out your toxic relationships, folks. So let's look at what is a toxic relationship. Well, a toxic relationship is when you are in a relationship where your mind space, your head space is more negative than positive. Now, how do we measure that? Well, you have to measure it, folks. So if I was to ask you now, on a scale of 1 to 100, how positive you feel about your current relationship, what number would you land on? Now, whatever that number is, if it's above 50%, we'll call it generally positive. And if it's below 50%, it's generally negative. I'll also argue that if you're in a life relationship, then anything below 70 is probably not so good. So even though sort of 50 to 70 is generally positive, we're going to put that into the okay section. Okay, which is almost neutral. It's almost neutral. Any relationship, in my opinion, should be a 70 plus most of the time. So there you go. There's the categorization of what I'm actually talking about. And there's something measurable for you to take to work out whether it's toxic or whether it isn't. So most of you've probably come on here to work out whether the person that you're with is toxic or not. And that's a fair point, folks. Now, on this channel, we've talked a lot about how good people, how people that are highly sensitive, empathic, good people will attract narcissists to bring up issues in their world. We've covered a lot of this stuff separately in different videos. So I'm not going to smash that one on the head any further than I already have in previous videos. Narcissists are generally bad. But they're also brought into your life to wake you up to what is central to this point, this central point. What is the central point, folks? The central point to any relationship that you're in, and this is the gold, folks, this is the gold, is your relationship with yourself. Now, let that sink in, folks. You want to work out whether that's a toxic relationship or not. Work out how do you spend the time showing up with yourself. When you are on your own, what is the rating? 1 to 100. How do you rate the self-talk that's going on in your head? There it is, folks. Everything is there. Because in the world of relationships, we teach people how to treat us. Now, you have to wake up to this. We teach people how to treat us. And if you're in a relationship where it's significantly under 70 for most of the time, then you have taught that person that that's okay. And that's probably because in your one-on-one time, you're more busy beating yourself up than you are elevating yourself. So this is the gift and the curse of being highly sensitive, folks. That being empathic and tuning into other people's energy and understanding what other people feel is a gift in certain situations. It's a curse when we deal with this, especially when you end up with a narcissist, my friends, or somebody with no empathy, somebody that doesn't care, somebody that, quite frankly, is going to take the piss out of you for as long as you allow it to happen, folks. It can only happen because that self-talk resonates on the same scale as your relationship is showing up with the other significant person in your life. And this is the formula. This is the gold nugget. And this is the part where a lot of people choose to be a victim. So here's a dynamic I see a lot. Someone's in what they believe is a toxic relationship. For whatever reason, they believe that they're trapped. It's usually financial. There could be kids involved. There's other factors, but they're the two big ones. And what they do is tell their friends. And then suddenly, everybody that's in your network, in your circle, will show up and they will start sympathizing with you. And that's how you draw energy. You're getting the energy of sympathy. You're using your victim story to extract energy from other people around you. Now, you're not even realizing that you're doing this, folks. You're thinking that you're doing the better things, staying in the toxic relationship. What you're doing is infecting your friends with your story, with your victim story. Now, this is brutal, folks. I know this is brutal, and I know that a lot of you will come to me with cases. Oh, but yes, this happens. I was scared for my life. I've heard these things, folks. But there always reaches a point where it's your job, it's always your decision, it's always your self-talk that's going to win the day. And when your self-talk is louder and more significant than the person that is in your life that you're calling this relationship that's possibly toxic, then that's the tipping point. So our own relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship ever, folks. And all toxicity comes from that starting point. And whatever's showing up is a result of that starting point. And that starting point is the one relationship that you have total control of, folks. Total control. Here's the news update. You cannot control what other people think. You can influence it. You can use your powers of persuasion to nudge it a few digits one way or the other, folks. But ultimately, the only thing that you have complete control of is your own thoughts and feelings and your relationship with yourself. And if you're not able to keep that consistently at 70 plus, then you're in the wrong relationship. Because if that person's not helping you to stay 70 plus, it tells me that it's toxic, and there's toxic, folks. It's not about the other person. The real magic here comes about taking a completely self-empowered approach that I love myself enough that nothing else matters. And if it's mainly toxic, get out. There's a simplicity, folks. There's a simplicity of the ultimate guide to toxic relationships is to love yourself more. And if you're in a relationship where that person isn't loving you for the 70 plus more consistently, then I'm going to suggest that it's not going to work and it's not going to change unless you change the self-talk within. So there you go, folks. Possibly not what you were looking for today, possibly not going to help you with your victim story, but what it will do is empower you to have a better relationship with yourself, or at least sow the seed of where things need to start in order to resolve things, to make this a fantastic new year, folks, a fantastic new year. So, my Jedi friends, you will love yourself more and have a better relationships, and you will uncover the complete guide to getting rid of everything toxic in your life. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding me the first time, then do yourself a massive favor, get more pieces to this very complicated jigsaw that will make you feel better. And you can like and subscribe just there. That's how you get access through to all these more pieces on this complicated jigsaw. And there's another piece there. So folks, go out, love yourself more, respect yourself enough to be 70 plus most of the time. And if you can hit the 90 plus, then you have hit Nirvana, my friends.